And you just see Fate's ass bouncing up.
Somebody poke
We
Joy
are-
and let him know we're starting the meeting.
We're recording.
And poke Kate. Oh, Casey does have her headset unmuted. Okay, we're recording.
Alright, I turned that off.
Oh, you could have left it going. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, let me pull up the meeting agenda because I did write one in 5 minutes because my power was out. Where did I paste this at? Okay.
It's a command. Yeah.
Okay. Meeting's going to be pretty short. We're just going to touch up on some Mechanicus things, some promotions, and then talk about the 69th Black Crusade. Okay. So, to start off, Dread, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
The Corruption Altar isn't out. Can we get that back out?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. That solves that. Okay, so there's going to be some changes to Mechanicus. And I'll start off by saying Tyro has proposed a way for the group to bid on preferred project priority. And I'm going to explain why it's preferred project priority and not mandatory project priority. It's really easy for, if we already have an existing model or something like that, for us to dump some scripts into it, or modify some existing scripts. Whereas, like, with a vehicle, like a brand new vehicle, it's a lot of fucking work. Now, that being said, it might be really easy to dump some scripts into a model, but if the model doesn't exist, that's 20 to 30 hours of work to get the model done. And if animations need to be done, that's another 15 to 30 hours worth of work for custom animations. So when we're talking about new Mechanicus projects, we will begin doing proof of concepts with existing models or plywood boxes, and we will work on all aspects of the project simultaneously from here on out once the project is approved. That way, when everything is finished, we're not sitting and waiting on any one particular thing to get it out. It will just be done. Now, that whole process is not finished yet, and when Tyro finishes his proposition, it will come to light as to how the system's going to work once everybody agrees on how the system's going to work. Now, I'm going to now touch on what I know is almost done, which is the new crosshair and spread system and so on and so forth. Dread's, what, about 99% done with that?
Yeah, I can release it, like, today. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking about doing.
Okay. These spread values and rates and things like that are not set in stone, but we do ask you to understand the role of a weapon before you begin complaining about the spread values and so on. Like, for example, the stubber is a suppression weapon. It is not meant to outright replace the autogun, for example. Now, I've used the stubber on and off for a great deal mini raids now, as well as the new bolter, and I think that the new bolter and the new stubber are actually better than the ones that were released before this update pass. The new rocket launcher is pretty fucking good and fun to use, and so on and so forth. But if there is an issue, like a real issue that you see, then please point it out, but do so in a way that isn't like a big whiny bitch fest. Okay.
Okay, so one thing to note with a lot of the semi-autos with this, how they spread is changed as well. Everything has a kickback to it pretty much, so, you know, if you're spamming shots, it loses accuracy. Before, this was based on the last shot taken for the long las, the las guns, the fucking las pistols, etc., etc. So if you fired one immediately after your last shot, it'd go wild. But with this system, it's a set kickback
Rate of growth, yeah.
amount of recoil.
Yeah.
So like your second shot is gonna be pretty close on target instead of way off. It's just it takes a second to wind back down to the base spread.
Yeah.
And
it
this
has
is pretty much ready to go like today, like I said.
Yeah, it has drastically improved the bolter and bolt pistol and autogun and stubber, in my opinion, but especially the bolter and bolt pistol. They're actually easy to use now. I do think that the bolter's rate of like returning back to its minimum spread needs to be increased. Like the spread needs to shrink faster, because sometimes like you'll be in a mid-range fight with somebody and like you'll miss your first couple rounds, and obviously you don't want to sit there and wait a second and a half for that to go down, and you'll be waiting half a second instead, and the bullets will just fly wildly around the person, even at like ranges of like 50 meters. So that needs to be adjusted a little bit, because I used the bolter for about 8 days. So just that's my input on it. So we can release it as is, but I think a lot of other people that primary the bolter are going to agree that it's better than it was, but it's still kind of needs to be
I just
tightened
like
up.
to ship the system, and then we can play with the individual guns a bit more.
Yeah, that's fine. So that's that on that system. Every weapon will be retooled individually after the system is in every weapon, based on input and so on and so forth. Now, that being said, God Favor items have begun work again. Foran is going to work on some corn items. They might not be textured by Foran. Sorry, Sarah.
Fuck you.
But Foran will high poly them for you and so on and so forth. So
I end up fixing it, so fuck you.
yeah. Sarah is working on Zinch things. There are no new Nurgle things planned for the time being. There are plenty of Nurgle things already. We need ideas for the Furfag god, Slanesh. So if you have ideas, like weaponized dog dicks and things like that would be the way to go. But no, if you have ideas for Slanesh weapons, please point them out and talk about them so that we can get an idea of how we want to eventually get those Slanesh weapons done. Slanesh has been the hardest god for us to concept things for, and so in terms of if we do one god at a time, Nurgle's already done, then we do Zinch or Korn. Slanesh will probably end up being the last god that gets something done. I hope that's cool with everybody. In terms of some of the other projects that were brought up when Dread and I were fighting, I think Flyne and I are going to start work on a new vehicle, which means that the Tauros will probably get done, but we will need some input from Dread on the las cannon and stuff like that on it. So it'll be like a 3-person collaborative project, which will probably mean that the assault bike is going to get fixed as well. So that is the Mechanicus stuff, unless you got anything else you want to throw out there, Dread.
No, not really.
Okay. For promotions, and I'm sorry that promotions have become so informal lately, but it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, congratulations, you have a job now. So we're going to promote Magnus and Minus to Marauder. So if somebody can handle doing that while I'm going through the rest of the things, that would be great. Talk to Minus is fully familiar with the Marauder and training document process, but if you have any questions, talk to Sam or Rachel or Tyro about that. Magnus and Minus will have to go through a little bit of training because we changed the way that training has happened. So bear in mind with that. So if somebody can hit the rank interface and get them promoted, that's great. Shaza is getting promoted to champion, which means that currently we have no one in the chosen rank. So that position is up for grabs. And Rachel and Sam are getting promoted to Lord, which fills out the Lord positions. We have 3 Lords again. We only have 1 champion now, so there are positions at the top that will need to be filled as some of these newer people get pushed up and we bring in some more new people. A few people have come back on and off, but I don't expect their activity to really be all that great anymore. They say they're trying to work out time for the group, that they don't want to just abandon us, but it's just kind of one of those things where they show up once a month and help with a raid and then disappear. So those people might be demoted down to veteran to make room for the ones that are left, to make room for people that actually are willing to do the jobs that those people used to do. And if that's upsetting to those people, they were fully aware and consenting when we had originally told people that, if you're not doing a job, we're going to move you back down to veteran. Like, we've done that with overlords, we've done it with lords, we've done it with COs, XOs, so on and so forth. So if you have a problem with being demoted, show back up and start doing the job that you were doing before you disappeared. Okay. So, that all being said, this meeting is almost over. I'm going to touch on what has happened recently within the wider community and why we're not okay with it, because some people don't quite seem to understand, or they weren't around for when this was a problem a long time ago. So, members of Voss Imperium and Grand Federation have been caught and admitted to conspiring to manipulate the abuse report system to get people's accounts suspended and potentially banned. It happened to Dark Sleeper, and I know not a lot of fans of Dark Sleeper in the group, but if it happened to Dark Sleeper, it could happen to any of you. So what had happened was Dark sent a joke notice out that said Ryo fucks kids law. I understand why Ryo is upset about that, because people think he is a pedophile. We're not going to go in on who thinks what right now. All I'm saying is, you know, trying to silence people instead of saying, no, I'm not, is not quite the best way to go about making people think that you're not. So, when Dark got his account suspended for 24 hours, he accused Ryo and Grand Fed, or at least Ryo and his friends, of abuse reporting him. Ion Difference, which is Robin Graves, and Grand Fed said, you know, there's no proof, no evidence that Ryo had anything to do with Dark's account suspension. So, while they were all arguing, I sent the same notice out. When I sent the notice out, about 10 minutes later, we got a screenshot from someone else of them in local chat with a bunch of other dumb furfags conspiring to then abuse report me for sending the notice out. Now, Hokusai, the person that had mentioned reporting me, is now trying to play it off like a joke. However, and I would have accepted that. However, Wyatt began whistleblowing using the screenshot as evidence that they were indeed participating in targeted abuse reporting. Wyatt's account then got suspended the next day. Mine did not, which isn't surprising to any of us. I get abuse reported all the fucking time, you know. So I don't think that it's up for any debate anymore that they were participating in this behavior, because when we confronted Griffith, Cryptic, Chris, Hokusai, and so on, they all defended the behavior and doubled down on it, which was a huge fucking mistake on their part. Like, we were trying to give them the opportunity to be like, yeah, this is bad, and, you know, we're not letting our members participate in this, but it was mostly a, well, we can't enforce that, so fuck you, get fucked. You shouldn't say mean things to Ryo. Which was not the problem anymore. The problem was that their members were totally okay with filing targeted abuse reports in a way to silence people they didn't like. So, we are going to do something about this. Decredum, I think, is already, like, smashing their face into the wall that is the furry menace, and we will let them do that while we plan to do whatever it is we decide to end up doing about this. If you have a problem with that, bring it up with the overlords, but let me explain why this is a problem. Back in 2009 and 2010, there was the potentiality that anytime you raided somebody, Vanguard, Ordo, Merceteers, and even Alliance Navy, that group would get upset over something you did and file targeted abuse reports against your group leader or content creator, and they would end up getting permanently banned. Linden Labs used to claim that the abuse report system, well, the ticket says that, you know, it's always reviewed, but they have admitted that there's an automated system for if a mass of reports comes in on one person, their account will be suspended until the ticket can be looked at. So the issue with this is that these people are using these reports as justification for how they feel, like, oh, see, Linden Labs agrees with us. That's not how it works. Your account just gets automatically suspended for 24 hours after the first volume of reports comes in. As long as they're within a certain time frame and so on and so forth. It's a completely automated system. So, like, their idea that they're morally right because the person got suspended is absolutely wrong. The reason why I was not banned if they did participate in a targeted abuse report against me is twofold. I own a large portion of mainland, Because a lot of people think, oh, if you're renting a sim, that means that LL won't bother you. LL doesn't know you're renting a sim. As far as LL is concerned, the estate owner owns that sim, and your agreement with the estate owner and so on and so forth is how that works. So I own almost a full mainland region, which is why things that I do are prioritized. But I also have a deal with the man. And so as long as I don't do anything really, really bad, it's very unlikely that I will be banned. So that was why I sent that notice out, and I was expecting nothing to come of it. However, when I got the screenshot, it was kind of just confirmation that these people were doing the thing we all agreed upon in 2012 was bad. And we don't want the community to return to that mentality of, well, it's okay to abuse report somebody because they hurt my feelings or something like that. Now, that being said, I understand where Griffith is coming from about calling Ryo a pedophile with no evidence, because Ryo is concerned people will dig into his real life over it. So, that's all I have to say about that. If you don't want to participate in this, speak up now. Actually, that's not all I have to say about that. If Decredum participates in any doxing, GPU crashing, copy botting, or sim crashing during this process, we will no longer back them on what they are doing. That's all I have to say about this. Anybody got any input on that? Or any questions about why we made a stand or anything against that? Nope. Hello?
Nope.
No.
Alright. Everybody in agreement that this is a bad thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah. The thing
is
that,
that-
like I said, calling Ryo a pedophile, I understand their stance on that and why they were upset about that. And if they are watching this, we totally get it. Ryo doesn't want people demonizing him, so we will be honest about the things we know Ryo has done. Ryo has infiltrated and attempted to take over Rodinia. Ryo was ousted for doing this, and then tried to do the same thing in KPC. Ryo then started a group with Takun called APG, where he tried to trick Zoha Islands into giving him full control of the region that Takun was paying for. Ryo then joined Takoi and tried to do the same thing he did in Rodinia. Those are the things that Ryo does. Griffith, is it a good idea to harbor this person in your group? Alright, Dredd, can you give everybody like 100 corruption for showing up for the meeting?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. That's the end of the meeting. Oh wait, hang on. Don't
I have a
stop.
question
Don't stop
for you
recording yet.
after work.
Yeah, don't stop recording yet. I have one thing to add.
Okay.
There we go. That's it.
But everybody,